So this tarot deck that I actually have used to belong to Walter Mercado.
No way.
What I find interesting too is that you have the Two of Cups. You do have like a partnership with somebody that works really well. It basically means that you guys are really in sync. You're very karmic for each other. You'll be like very successful for one another.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to Medianoche. I'm Juliet.
And I'm Nelly, and we're starting a new content series for you guys.
Yes, we decided to create a content series to highlight Miami creatives because we think there's so many great creative minds in Miami.
Yes, and first up we have La Bruja de 305, or the Terror Queen. How are you?
Hi everyone, I'm great. Just trying to live my best life during 2020.
Yes, I feel you. It hasn't been the easiest, but thank you so much for coming on the show. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here too.
So, I guess to start off, can you tell us a little bit about your craft and your backstory on the journey of how it is that you got to being La Bruja 305?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mainly do tarot readings, and I might throw some like astrology in it, depending what the customer likes. But I've been doing tarot readings for like 10 and a half years now. And yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. And at first, I didn't do it for clients. I've been doing it for clients for like, it'll be 3 years in October. And when I first started, it was actually because I reunited with one of my friends that I grew up with when I was little. Um, he's Cuban, so Cubans, and I grew up with like a lot of Cubans because I grew up in Hialeah, and they all do all these. I feel like they always did all these kind of crazy things, and I grew up Catholic, so my mom would not be okay with any of those things.
Where's your background from? Like your family?
Yeah.
My family's from Nicaragua.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
We have a lot of
okay.
Nicaragua.
Yeah, we have a lot of Nicaragua.
We're Cuban.
We're Cuban, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of us here now, but Nicaraguans are very like either you're very strict or they like to party and they don't really have like a belief system. So my family's very strict. So like my mom's side is very strict, but my dad's the opposite. They're just like they do whatever they want. So I never really got involved in these things until like I was little, that I would have like these weird premonition dreams that my mom would. I would tell my mom, and then she was just trying to be like, no, so no.
No.
So on my own, I would go. So I grew up in Hialeah, so Westland Mall was like,
Us too. It was the spot.
Over there.
Oh, Warren Books, was it?
Yeah.
Warren.
Yes.
Yeah. And then at the time, Macy's used to be called Burdines.
Oh my God,
Yes,
yes,
Macy's was
Burdines.
Burdines.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yes.
my mom and her sisters would go into Burdines and they go shopping, and I would go into the bookstore and I'd tell them, I'll stay in the bookstore and I'll stay here. So while I was in the bookstore, I would look up things about dreams and spirits and ghosts, and like that's how I always sit in that little esoteric section, you know?
Yeah.
You were drawn to it.
Yeah, so I would just go there, and my mom doesn't read or speak English, so she wouldn't know what I was doing. So I would ask her when she would come back. I ask her, "Oh, mami, ¿puedo comprar este libro?" And she's like, "¿De qué es
And she
eso?"
would know what it was.
Ciencia, it's science, astrology, astronomy, and I tell her a bunch of crazy shit, and she's always like, "Oh, okay, sure," and she let me buy it.
She's like, so educational.
Yeah. Sounds educational.
Yeah, so I would just like, so she didn't realize what I was doing. So like, I kind of noticed because my mom's very strict with being Catholic, I have to kind of like on my own just learn stuff. So I would read books and books and books. And then when I reconnected with my friend in college in a math class, one day we're like hanging out, and like in the middle of the street, like for real, we're waiting at a corner for a friend. In the middle of the street, he just takes out these cards. And he's just throwing down these cards, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And then I tell him, like, Alex, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just asking a question to my tarot cards. And I was like, what the hell is he talking about? So I just let him be like, he was very gay and flamboyant. So I was just like, I don't know, he's doing whatever he wants to do. And I would see him that he would occasionally just take them out and again. And I was like, okay, so you need to explain to me what that is, because I don't know what that is. So he started telling me about them, that they basically predict the future. So he'll ask them a question when he feels like he's stuck or he doesn't know what to do, or he feels like he doesn't see the answer to like a situation, right? Like you might not know if you're gonna get that job, so you might ask the tarot, you know, to kind of like.
Of course.
I always feel like it's like you're masterminding your life, because if you know maybe that's not gonna work out, then you could go do something else.
Yeah.
For sure.
So he starts showing me, and we would kind of like joke around with the cards and ask about people. So we would ask about like a specific friend and see what they say. And I feel like they were all like, at first, like the first few we did were very like just vague, sort of. And until like we did one reading that was like really big, that just kind of blew out all this cheese. Like the cards themselves just said like that this person would have stopped being my friend. She was gonna leave her boyfriend. She was gonna get pregnant.
Oh, no.
That she wouldn't know who the baby daddy was. Like all those things literally happened.
Drama.
And yeah,
That is
for real. It's
crazy.
like, oh my gosh, like how did all of this actually happen? And then I told my friend, it took a while. Like they kind of progressed. Like depending, you could put like a time frame of how much you want to know or when you want to know. So I guess the way he did it was like a couple of months down the road. You know, they could go up to like 3 to 6 months. And as I kind of forgot about the reading, because none of them ever felt like they affected me any kind of way. And then when someone brings up to me that this girl's pregnant, like multiple people kept telling me she's pregnant. And I thought, I don't care why. I didn't have sex with her. I don't about the baby dying. Why are you
It's
telling me
unrelated to me.
So, you know, why? So then, it just kind of hit me. Oh my gosh, I think it's the universe trying to tell me, like, pay attention. Like, you kind of already knew this was supposed to happen. And then I thought about the tarot reading, and I was like, oh my gosh, the tarot card said this girl was gonna all this everything. So I thought about it. We at that point weren't friends. She was with her boyfriend anymore, so I knew she wasn't pregnant from her boyfriend. Like I knew she was from somebody else. And we didn't know who it was. So I called my friend. It was really late at night, but you know, whatever. We're like 20 something. You don't sleep, so I call my friend.
That makes sense.
What is sleep?
Yeah, so I call my friend and I'm like, Alex, do you remember that reading we did? And it said, you know, like she was gonna get pregnant, all these crazy things. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, it happened. And I was so shook, but he was just like, yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, it happened. And he goes, I know, sister, they said they were gonna happen. So what do you, like, I don't know
What
what
are you
to tell
surprised
you.
about?
Like, why are you so shocked?
Yeah, so I was sold. In that moment, I literally, I had this other girlfriend and I called her and I told her, I was like, Kat, like all this happened and I knew it was gonna happen because Alex told me, the cards told us, like these things are real. Like, let's go to the bookstore. Because then at the time there was a bookstore called Borders, and some bookstores sell tarot cards. Barnes and Noble sells tarot cards.
Yeah.
So Borders was closing down, so they were having like a big sale, basically getting rid of everything. So I was like, let's go there. Maybe I could get like a tarot deck super cheap, and I could just start playing with them or whatever. So that's what we did. Like, Fred and I went to the bookstore. I bought the tarot deck. It comes with like a little manual book, so you could go kind of through it and everything. And every day, like, I would just play with the cards. I would take out cards. I would ask for myself. And like, for the first couple of years, I would just do readings on myself. And then I kind of remember the reading of this girl that I did. So then I figured, I kind of want to know what's going to happen to you. So I would ask my friends, I was like, do you want to know what's going to happen? Or like, if they tell me some kind of like, that they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this guy's gonna call me. Like, I feel like he ghosted me. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's ask.
Wait, let me ask.
Let's ask the tarot.
That's how I felt. So I was like, let's ask the tarot. So then as I started doing it to people, then I just felt like, you know, I could potentially do this for like myself. And at the time too, I used to be like a visual merchandiser and work in retail or retail management.
I feel you, girl. I used to do that too.
Yeah, you know, so then it's always like, either you get to a point and nothing happens, or it's hard to get a job or get a good pay. It's always a challenge. So I just felt like, you know what, like, the last place I worked at was actually a really great job. Like, it was full time. I had like amazing benefits. They paid me really good, but I would have to be at work at 6 a.m. till like 3 p.m.
And that's if you were done.
So I kind of like decided to just stop working. I didn't want to work for somebody else as well. That was kind of like my main thing. So I decided to, you know, get really creative with like my tarot, how to do readings for other people. And also, that's kind of how I came up with my name, La Bruja del 305, because I thought at first I really actually didn't think that no one would buy this. Like, I didn't think who's gonna want a tarot reading. Like, I also grew up very like, I did all these things, and like my friends and I were like witches, and people thought we were weird in high school. So I just thought, who's gonna want to buy this? Like who's gonna do this? But I feel like timing just works. Like now it's almost maybe something trendy, so more people are open to it. Yeah, absolutely. Or like crystals are a big thing. So that plays on like, the whole idea of, spirituality. So I also kind of wanted, my fear was maybe that people in Miami would not understand it. So, I have to kind of somehow relate or start like an opening space or something. So that's how I kind of came up with the name. And I figured they would love it. It's fun. It's, super Miami.
It's very relatable because, like, I mean, Hialeah is super Cuban culture, and like Cuban culture is all about this, like, Santeria and like the cards and like spiritualism. So I think it goes perfect.
Yeah, and I think like at first I was kind of like doubting myself because I even forgot, like you said, in Hialeah, everybody does those kinds of things, and I kind of forgot. I kind of disconnected a little bit just because I guess I was so worried or had so much fear in it.
I guess that's what they call the imposter syndrome, where you don't realize like you have this gift and like you need to share it with people. You're like, but people are gonna be interested in this, and like they are.
Yeah, for sure. Like absolutely. So once I think like I started doing it, then it just everything naturally kind of started coming together. Like I met people who are very creative, they're spiritual too, or they like doing these kinds of things, or like the clients themselves, they just come to me. Like Instagram is a big way that I've kind of like sold my business, and I've like gotten people from like all over the US. I've done some readings through like WhatsApp for like people in Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic, some in Colombia, some in Mexico. So I love also the time we're in because technology just lets you do so much that you never know who you're going to reach out to.
Yeah, and that's great for our foreign followers.
Yeah, I think now with like everything being done virtually, it opens up like horizons, and like you can cross borders and talk to people, connect with people out there because we can do it virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And that's actually when the whole COVID thing happened at first. Everybody was freaking out. We don't know what it was. So I thought, oh my God, someone's going to buy a reading. I was like, or I felt bad because my readings are a specific price. Like they range between $50 to like $80. And I was like, who's going to spend $80 on like a reading or go to some bruja and tell your friend, hey, I spent $80 on this witch. Like, it's not, so.
But people do it.
No, right? But like in these uncertain times, I feel like now is like when people want the most clarity, like with everything. So they're gonna like want to spend that money and be like, hey, like speak to me, what's going on? Because right now, like everybody, I feel like is feeling that stress of like we've been locked up, cooped up in the house, we have nowhere to go, and then like everybody's concerns for everybody's safety. So I think like literally this is like a good time for you to be able to connect with so many people like around the world that are just going through the same thing. So I think it's great.
Yeah, it took some time for me to realize it. Like I did like the first 2 weeks or so.
No,
it was kind of like, I was like, oh my gosh. So then I also kind of like lowered my prices. So it's kind of like we're meeting, like I also feel kind of terrible to charge someone like a certain amount of money. And I think like, I even think about certain things myself. Like, should I buy this or, I need to go get that.
We kind of felt the same when the pandemic hit because this podcast was, the idea we had behind it was going out and like doing these fun things. Like one of our episodes was we woke up at 6 a.m. and went to space. Like saw the sunrise kind of thing, and we're like, we want to go on these adventures and tell people about them. And then the pandemic hit, and we're like, okay, so
our podcast just started. We've done a total of like 2 episodes.
I'm like, what do we do? We can't go anywhere. And I'm like, there's so many amazing people that we could bring on the show and just like have them talk about their talents. So
that's like how we came up with this series. That
so you're our first one in this series.
Yeah, you're the one that's kicking off our series. So that's really exciting. Well, I see your shirt.
Yeah.
But aside, if that was your main inspiration, who was your main inspiration growing up? We love Guatemala. Like we were like hardcore Guatemala fans when we were young.
Yeah, like I love Walter too. Like he was definitely at first maybe like that was like the most esoteric thing my mom would do. Like she would listen to him and then that's it. But like if I told her anything related to astrology, she'd just be like, oh, no traigas a la casa. And I'm like, no, mercado. Like, what What's the difference?
My side of the family from my mom, they're Cuban, but they raised very Catholic, like going to church and all, and they weren't into like astrology or anything. But like I heard that my great grandparents, like they would wake up every day at whatever time White Day was coming on. It was like part of the routine of the day, and they didn't associate that with anything like spiritual. It was just like, no, he's reading our, what is it that he used to say?
Yeah, y sobre todo con mucho amor.
Amor, yeah. I feel like you might have answered this question a little bit, but if you ever considered another path in your life.
I went to college. I went to the AI in downtown, but I went to study to get a fine arts degree in photography. So I wasn't even that. That's why I just know that the universe has some kind of way of playing games with it. Not in a bad way, but like they know how to like place you where you should be in certain things. Like I went to college to try to be like at first I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, but I feel like my parents, like my family was just like pressuring me to like, I didn't even apply for a college. Like when even like halfway my senior year, I didn't. Like I was just like, but in a way I didn't want to go to Miami-Dade. So I was like, look, I'm not going to go to fucking date like everybody goes to date. But I said, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Like, don't worry. So then I really love photography. Like when I was in high school, that's how I got into it. Like I have a good eye, so I'm able to actually really capture good images. And I would do like a lot of photojournalism for our yearbook. And I was the editor of photography. And then I became like the editor-in-chief of the yearbook.
Wait, did you go to Hialeah High?
No, I went to Goldman.
Oh.
When I thought about it, like at first I wanted to be like, maybe like a writer, to be a reporter, because I just like journalism. But then when I did photography, I just felt like I liked that more because it was like more fun to do and it felt more creative.
That's funny you say that because I have a journalism degree with a minor in photography. That was like my exact path. And then I thought about working in a newsroom and it was like, that's not creative at all. Like I love journalism, but I want to like share joy and like entertainment and not just like how the news are now that everything is very political.
I think it's because of our like upbringing. Because when I was a child, I want to be a host. Like that's my passion.
Yeah,
I like to do hosting. I was like, I'm gonna be a news anchor. Yo voy a estar en el noticiero. Yo voy a estar ahí.
And then you
like,
realize the truth.
Like I don't want to do that. I think it's because our parents, like when we were young, you know, like ponen Telemundo, ponen Univision, and like you just watch a noticiero all the time. So like if you do like that path of like journalism, you like grow up thinking, no, like yo voy a ser ahí en Nueva Grande, like Univision.
Yeah, for
like,
sure. Like you don't realize
anchor.
like, or I've given a reading to somebody was like, actually I've given readings to like a good amount of people who do journalism or they're writers. And then I feel like some of them have had like, one of them has had like a really great career, her journalism, but then like another one kind of seems to have struggled with the idea that she felt like she was being forced to tell certain stories that she didn't feel comfortable doing or certain things that she didn't want to report. She wants to report her own stories, you know? And I've had also multiple people tell me, you know, they want to produce their own thing. So maybe that's why they do a podcast. So they have their own like news channel. Or like they report their own things even on their Instagram. Like there's actually a good amount of people in Miami who are like news reporters, but they report anything like they're like out in the street for real, like ready to capture anything happening.
That's what I love because the saddest realization of journalism is realizing that it's all a business.
Yeah.
So whatever gives them more money, that's what they're gonna want to report. So I like these like just self-produced and like people that just go out there and report on them on their own.
Yeah, for sure.
What zodiac sign are you?
Oh yeah. So I'm in Aries. Yeah, and then my moon sign. You guys know more about those things. So like your moon sign will define like how you respond in like relationships, whether they're love or with your friends and your family. And it also relates to like money and how you respond to money. So I'm a Capricorn. So I think in that sense, it makes me a little bit traditional when it comes to like the idea of what I want in a relationship. But I also do a lot of things to I'm very creative in how to make money. So I get very...
Capricorns are good at that.
Yeah,
Capricorns
for sure.
actually, they have like millions of ideas of how to make money. But they're also good at like financing their money. Typically, like some of them, if they don't, something else in their chart has to be like a little bit busy. But my moon sign is a Capricorn. And then my rising, which represents like how I guess maybe you present yourself to other people at times, or like if you meet strangers, that's how maybe they might perceive you. My sign is a Taurus.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a Gemini with a Taurus moon and an Aquarius rising.
Oh, Okay, cool.
And I'm a Libra with a Gemini moon and a Leo rising, which is funny because she's a Gemini, like my best friend, and my sister is a Leo. Yeah. So I feel like a little bit of
she got all of us together and like they put her into one.
But like almost everyone's like that, or like you kind of attract like certain.
That's true.
Certain signs.
People that are like you.
Certain signs are meant to be like in your life to give you some kind of part of the journey.
I always tell her that like when we vent to each other a lot, and sometimes I feel like I'm like, even sometimes when I'm helping you out with your problems, I see it as a mirror because like, you know, I'm my moon sign is Gemini, you're a Gemini, and like I see that in myself, and I can give you advice that I can't give myself, but once I give it to you, I listen to it.
Yeah, you're like, okay. Oh wow. No, that happens with Alaska. Like we get frustrated like the same way, or like we get like as annoyed or as like sentimental. Like I'm a super emotional person. Like I cry when I'm happy, I cry when I'm sad, I cry when like the kitty crosses the street and I thought it was super cute. Like yeah, get it on.
And the crazy part is that we're both dating guys that were born on the same day. Sagittarius.
Yeah.
So crazy.
We're both dating a Sagittarius born on the same day. Like December 11, we're both dating.
Yeah.
So they're
two Sagittarius. No, Sagittarius is born December 11.
So I heard September, so I was like, oh, okay, no.
December.
December Sagittarius.
Yeah, which is like an odd mix with like air and fire. And like
like basically they're trying to like, you know, create this like tornado, like.
Yeah. So we had a question from one of our followers.
Oh, okay, cool.
When setting intentions out into the world, what ritual do you recommend? Like we have here, like we have our crystals. We had sage and Palo Santo. Yes. Like what rituals do you like?
I think it could go like very simple, or like you could literally have like a full on circle and like everything, you know? So I think a main thing about like in general to set your own intentions, it's like you really need to believe that it's gonna happen. Because you know, like it's like you need to have like faith in like it's almost like you have to believe that it's already yours, that you're like owning this, like this is mine. It's like if you're trying to manifest like a boyfriend, you know, like a man, like who you want, and you know, like as like, you know, they're serious, they're emotionally available, like they're here for you. You have to believe this person exists. But if you just think, oh, all Miami guys are the same, they're all a bunch of losers and stoners.
Then that's what's gonna.
The universe is gonna give you a bunch of losers and stoners, and that's what's gonna happen. You know, like
that's so true.
Like I said, you have to really believe that it's yours. It's gonna happen. You have to have faith.
Yeah.
For example, actually, we're having a full moon like in the next coming months, like this month in general. A lot of the moons relate to like relationships, and like Uranus is going through a lot of people's charts, and that's like the big expansion. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, what can I manifest? What can I create? So like we could actually use like this month to really focus on like, what do you actually really want? Like, if you could actually dream really big and not just small, like, what is it that you could actually manifest? And you could do so much. Like, you could literally make the list and burn, like, a candle. Like, colors could relate to certain things. So, you know, pink would be, like, for love. And red could be for, like, you want it to be very passionate. Or if you want it to happen fast, also, you know, it could be like that. Or if you want money, you could burn, like, green and gold. Or if you want peace with yourself, you could burn white. So you could do something as that simple as, you know, as like putting your candle and some incense and like saging yourself and making this list and maybe playing music. Like, to me, music is a big thing. Like, I like to do. So like, if I'm like trying to manifest money, I will literally play like baller music on my Spotify. Like, I will just play like whatever I feel like, you know, I'm in the club and I'm this guy in VIP spending all this money, and like I will do things like that. Because I feel like you know, you're putting that energy you have. Don't you feel really good? Like if you're like this person that's spending, or like if you play like really beautiful love songs, or like, let's say you already know what song, you know, because girls, we think of everything, and you already know what song you want for your wedding, then you can just
play it.
Yes, actually, yes, that's very, very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you tell us, like, what is your take on, like, being your modern day, like, bruja?
Being a modern day bruja would be like, how am I gonna try to like solve my everyday problems with connecting with like the universe and Mother Nature and magic.
I guess we're gonna get into our mini tarot reading.
Yeah.
And see, I know that our followers are really excited to see how the whole tarot works and how like you flip the cards and what it is that you tell us.
Yeah, so we each came prepared with just one question to ask.
And then, of course, we're going to be answering some of your questions that you guys submitted.
So this tarot deck that I actually have used to belong to Walter Mercado. And
oh my God, no way.
Sale he had. And then I met him when he had his museum opening, and I brought the tarot cards and he blessed them for me.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I want to use these cards today for the readings for y'all and then everybody that asked. So maybe you can feel like Walter Mercado's here with you too.
Yes, he's here with us. Con mucho amor.
So exciting. Con mucho amor.
You can, whoever's ready to go, you can just ask me your question and I'll take out the cards.
Okay, so my question is the career path I'm pursuing currently the right one for me?
And then for your career path, is it because you want to also, have you been contemplating it, or because you want to do something different, or you feel like you're doing the right thing for yourself?
You know, I have the podcast and I have the mother brand of Medianoche is Moonset Music, which is like my baby. That's like what started it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a degree in music business and that's my passion.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from all my passion projects, I'm still pursuing like a full-time job in the music industry. And I'm going into a specific field right now in the music industry. And I'm just contemplating whether if I should continue that path or continue what I'm doing now.
Okay.
I feel like my heart is fluttering at 1,000,000 miles per hour, and it's not even for me.
So I can't really control my facial expressions. They just happen. So don't freak out if you see me do anything. I just kind of like, that's how I respond. But doesn't mean like a bad thing's happening, you know? Oh, interesting. Yeah, interesting actually. So, I could kind of see how in the cards maybe you contemplate, like you have really great days that you want to really do your music, but then you have really great days that you want to do like your career and maybe like focus on like your podcast and doing all these things. But it's almost like I can kind of see how the universe is pushing you to do certain things too. So here with your first card, so what I like to do with the readings, I take out each card and I'll tell you what they're saying, because I feel like if I read each card, they're more detailed, but they all work together too. So I'll tell you like if it balances together with another card. So with this one here, you have the 3 of clubs. With the 3 of clubs, you can see that there's like a man kind of like looking out into like the ocean. He's looking forward, but he has like his standing stick really still. So with this card, it's kind of like you do have like a firm grasp of what it is that you want to do with your life, but you want to like look at the bigger picture and really ask yourself, is this really who I am? Am I really passionate about this? Is this really what's going to make me happy? So then that kind of speaks on like you and how you're manifesting this. So I do think that you have like a lot of passion and energy. So that's what's helping you kind of stay on track with it. But the reason why I think it gets interesting is because almost like the universe puts you in one place and then it puts you in another and then it puts you in another. So for example, like here you have the 5 of cups. So with the 5 of cups, it looks like maybe at certain points, like something might happen that you feel like disappointed, or like maybe it doesn't really go the way exactly you want it to go. But in reality, not all the cups are like dropped. Like there's 3 here, but then there's still 1 standing. So it's almost like you are focusing on like the negative and not being too excited about the positive. Like there's something really good there, but like the negative is just really distracting you. But with this, it's in a sense like something's gonna happen that might like make you feel a little bit disappointed about it. But in a way, then something really good happens with the other one. So that's why I think it's interesting.
The crazy part is that I understand exactly what you mean.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So what I find interesting too is that you have the Two of Cups, that it shows that there is like in the career path that you do have like a partnership with somebody that works really well. It basically means that you guys are really in sync and very karmic for each other. You'll be like very successful for one another. So that's why I thought it was kind of cute and interesting and it came out. So it's almost so like the universe is trying to tell you too, like this partnership is really going to help you out. It's almost like you should explore this idea more and get really in depth in it and like really ask the two of yourselves, like, oh, like, what do we really want out of this? Like, where do we want to take it? And I think in a sense, the reason why maybe disappointing things happen in the other realm is because like there's so much greater things with this one. And it wants you to explore that idea. So maybe too, like I was saying earlier, that we feel like the universe pushes us to do certain things. I feel like we do get to a point, like if you don't do enough, the universe is just gonna push you.
Like
everything, and the universe is like, you know what? I'm sick and tired. This bitch isn't doing anything. We need to get her to move on. So, not that you're not doing anything. I think a lot of changes are gonna come. Like they're naturally just gonna happen. So you have the falling tower. When the falling tower comes out, like even in the photo, it looks very chaotic. Like these people are falling off of like a house. Everything's like on fire. But it's kind of like, because it feels that way. Yeah, it just feels that way. Like everything's happening really fast. Like, so with that sense, it's almost like you'll see successful things happen really fast. So you might feel like you have to respond to those things right away. So it might be like you get a lot of like, you get a lot of exposure, you get a lot of connections, you might meet the right people, and things start happening. So it's like you might feel like you have to respond to them. But I think that's also like the universe testing you, like, okay, so should I do this? Should I not? Should I do this? And you're still might be in a phase that you're contemplating certain things. But then as they start happening naturally, I think you'll make the right choice, because then at the end you have the Eight of Cups. So if the Eight of Cups comes out, it means that with the other one, you might get to a point where you might get like, you might get like over it. Like you might kind of get like, you just can't take it anymore, or certain things are happening that maybe you don't feel are happening the way you want them to. And it's almost like you might just get really over it. You'll get frustrated. You're like, I'm done with this shit. Like, I just see so much other greater things with the other one. And you'll just walk away and kind of turn your back on it. And you'll kind of just leave it. And I think for the moment, you'll definitely leave it to kind of explore the other one. And the universe is going to kind of put you at the right place at the right time to make these kind of things happen. So I think you should kind of, let things naturally happen. But I wouldn't let like, I think your frustrations was gonna be the boiling point to like make all this for you to make that move. Like something is really gonna like bother you, or it might not really work out the way you wanted to. That you're just gonna be like, you know what, fuck this. Like I really have this other great thing. Like so many things are coming out of it, and I want to do this, and you'll kind of just flow with it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. So now,
okay,
you can ask your question.
My question.
Yeah.
Okay, so as of forever, but more as of lately, I feel like I have like a lot of like just like internal like family issues going on, and like I don't feel that like my mental health is like at its best right now, and it's making me like second guess everything that I want to do, and it's making me just like really doubt myself in things that I know that I should have done a long time ago. I just like keep putting them off, and it's like kind of like very like constant like negative thought about everything I do, and like just about myself overall, and this feeling of like not being able to succeed. So I want to know if like by the end of the year I am gonna be able to overcome like the mental health issues that I have right now, if I'm gonna feel better, like what's going on.
Okay, so your first card that you got actually kind of right away predicts what you're going to ultimately get by the end of the year. You have the 10 of Cups. So with the 10 of Cups, it shows that you're going to come to the end point of like your emotional struggle and what you've been going through. But it definitely shows that with that said, it's going to bring a lot of happiness and excitement. And you're definitely going to feel more like fulfilled in life. So I do believe that this emotional situation you have is kind of blocking other things to happen. Because once you kind of start to be in a better place, then you kind of open up, you have like a floodgate of openings of like things happening. So even in your love life, it's interesting. This card is actually a really good card to also show that your partner would actually be a really good support to help you right now during this emotional time. And like, when you like, he'll definitely be there and stick through it with you. I don't know if you doubt those kinds of things. I know some of us do, but you know, he doesn't think you're crazy or like, oh my gosh, this bitch is not to get over it. He's definitely like very like supportive. He wants to be there for you. He's definitely willing to do extra things to like definitely help you out. So with that said too, it does show that like with like if you lean more towards him to like have him as like a support system, it's definitely gonna help out your relationship too. It's gonna also give it some kind of like new level that we're at. So your Ace of Cups shows that like with this kind of like maturity, it's gonna help you get to like, you know, take the next step in your relationship, whatever that may be. But this card definitely shows that like you guys are meant to be together right now. It's a really good love card. It's important to have each other right now. Also for him, like it's important for him to have you. So if that's, you know, I don't think you should ever, like if you do question maybe like, am I driving my boyfriend crazy with my own personal situation? Don't feel that way. Like he's definitely trying to be very supportive and loving and do whatever he has to do to be there for you. So with that said, if you are open to let him in and give you more of this, it's gonna give like a new life to your love relationship. And who knows, it can literally go up to the next level. So you have to be definitely, you know, very open-minded as to what can come out of it. You also have the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords right away show that like you'll definitely win and persevere this. Like you're definitely having an internal struggle. And like maybe at times you feel like you're having a battle with like other people, but there's really nobody else against you. Like they're trying to be there for you. They're trying to be supportive and they're going to do whatever they have to really also help you out because they really believe in you. And they want something really good to happen. But if this comes out, you're definitely going to come out winning. You're going to come out stronger. You're going to be like out of your Britney 2007. Like we're going to be like Britney, like, you know, like not now. That bitch is a little crazy stuff.
Britney in the Mickey Mouse Club. She was just starting.
Yeah. We'll have like Britney Circus. Like, you know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was very pretty. It was like her comeback. She like did it. And you're definitely going to like win. But with that said too, it's almost like going to give you like this new life to like come through and like really push for everything else. Because then here you have like your Six of Coins, which your Six of Coins shows that there's definitely some like success that the universe wants to give you with like what your creativity is and what you want to make money from. Like it definitely wants to give you that opportunity. So once you really start like focusing on like working on yourself, and I think you should definitely lean on your boyfriend for like support, hear out what he has to say that could help you out. It's going to really open up the path to like help you manifest financial security, more money, like put you where you want to be and successful. With this card too, it definitely shows that like you'll definitely kind of even like gain some kind of like fame out of it. Like you'll definitely go up the ranks compared to like other people that are trying to do the same thing you are. Like you'll definitely get up there and move on. But with the way the cards are reading in general, everything's gonna come to you. It's gonna happen. You're gonna come out stronger. So just kind of really believe in it and just go with it and things will work out.
Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to ask one more question. So just a small background to give you is my relationship right now is long distance. Like he used to live here when we started going out, but then he got an amazing job offer in Los Angeles and he moved away. And I've been working freelance for about over a year now. So I just have little projects here and there. That's why I've been pursuing a more like full-time job apart from like my passion projects. Mm-hmm. So I've been applying for jobs in LA as well as here in Miami. So I just kind of want to know if, you know, if I have a future in LA or if my future just like lies here in Miami.
Okay. So one of the spreads that I do also could be just like a direct yes or no to see if they have to say. So sometimes I'll pull that out because I feel like some questions might be like yes or no. And then we see why, then we could like look at the other cards to see why does it say it's a yes or why does it say it's a no. So let me see. So do we have a future in LA? Yes or no? So I always focus on having like clarity and guidance, but it's also filled with like unconditional love. So it doesn't feel like anyone's being judged. I mean, the universe doesn't judge you. The universe, it wants to give you love. So I think throughout the readings, that's what they're meant to do. Even like if the reading might be rough, it's because it knows that you need to hear this and you need to understand this and, you know, go from there. Okay, so I would actually say that it looks like your future would be in Miami. Because there's just like, because you actually get the 8 of Cups again. And I think there's something that, like, if you did go and you were there, something might feel kind of frustrating about it. So you get the 8 of Cups again. So it might be that, like, you might get really frustrated or things aren't working out the way you thought it would work out. So it's kind of really just messing with your own ego. And then even with your 10 of Swords, it does show that, like, it bothers you, but I think the universe really wants to give you that in particular because it comes out showing that, like, you'll come to the end of, like, a situation you have, like, I guess, like, struggling with it or trying to figure it out. Like, the universe already knows that you're asking and you're praying, so it's gonna give it to you, but it might give it to you in a different way that you're expecting to. So I think that's why you feel like you get frustrated, you get over it because certain things are happening, but they're not happening the way you want them to. But the universe is making it happen a certain way because they know that that's the best way to, like, manifest the main goal. So you know what I mean? Like, you might want this whole pizza pie, but is it really gonna come from Little Caesars or Pizza Hut? You know, like, how is this gonna come to me? So, but I think too with your relationship, either way, like, if maybe you had any kind of doubts or anything, you were scared that, like, maybe because I'm not there, it means it's not going to really work out. I don't think your relationship is at risk. You have the high frame, which shows, like, certain traditional values are really important. So those kind of values is what's kind of really holding it together. Like, they look at the bigger picture, like, they know what's important. They, like, want you, you want them, like, you have goals together. So this isn't really gonna phase you. Like, if anything, it's gonna help you out. It's gonna, like, also set, like, a good foundation. And this is a really good love card. If it comes out, it does show that, like, the two of you are very karmic to one another. So you definitely do have maybe a good amount of give and take when you do, or at times you are a good balance, but it's definitely showing that, like, they care, they want, you know, they have to do whatever they have to do. So I also think in a sense, maybe, like, he might think that, like, financially they want certain things to prove certain things to you. So you kind of have to be open and let it happen.
That line was like that exactly defines, like, yeah. It's all right. That's crazy. I'm so glad I asked that second question. 100%.
No, like, for sure, like, thank you. Like,
Yeah,
you have
you're welcome.
for sure offered,
you really like
some peace
gave
of
us
mind.
clarity.
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
Let's see if we can help our followers the same way. We do know that you guys did submit a few questions to both me and La Bruja 305.
Me? Us.
For us. She's right.
I'm going to go through and I'll pick a question and tell you guys. And also, I also put it on my story. So I did pick some from that and I'll say it.
Okay.
But again, I'm not going to say your name. I'll just say the question. I feel like each one's very unique.
Yes.
So I don't think anyone will get confused with who's who. I think that this is your question.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let me see. So the first one we have says, I just got dumped. What's the future of my relationship? So I'm going to focus for sure because I feel like maybe you want to know do you guys think it's like they want to know if like something's gonna happen out of this, right?
Yeah.
Or like if they should move on, right?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, like that's what I'm feeling. Like, let's see if like you should wait around for this person, or like someone else is out there for you, or like was this meant to be? Do you need to spend time with yourself? Let's see. Okay. Okay, again, you can't see. I know I make faces, so I hope people don't freak out.
No, it's okay.
No, like, go ahead. Like,
okay. So I would say, in general, you don't need this person. Like, you could totally move on from them because you're actually gonna be attracting like way more other people. And like there's somebody, like people could see you. So I'm gonna explain it. So right away, you have the devil card. The devil card is not that good when it comes to a love relationship. It could mean that like you do too much work, you sacrifice too much, and the other person doesn't do enough. It's like the opposite of a lover's card, where like it's very karmic. Like the two of you do equal work, you both communicate, you help each other out. Like in this one, there's some kind of sense of someone being selfish. If you do want to make it work, you can do that, but it's a lot of work, like a lot of work. Like you need to do like self-exploration. They need to ask themselves questions too. Like you guys really need to spend a lot of time working. But based on the other cards that came out, I would not say to do that. Like I would not say to spend your energy on that person.
To not waste your time.
Yeah, don't waste your time, because then you have the star card. When the star card comes out, it's like, don't worry about it. Like God is actually manifesting this, like the actual person you want. Because maybe you wanted something out of this relationship. Maybe that's how you want it. Because you want like, there's something, you know, like let's say you do want like a relationship where you get married and you guys travel the world. You know, maybe this guy was cheap and didn't want to do that. So the universe is going to give you someone that's actually really wants to do these things with you. They have like the same lifestyle. They have bigger goals, and that's really important. So with this one too, it does show too, like, I do think maybe if you're worried that you're not going to find someone, that's impossible. Like this card, the star card shows that like you're very like vivid. You have this energy that attracts a lot of people, like inside and out, like physically and mentally and spiritually. So you'll definitely attract like the right kind of men or women, whoever it is for you. But this person's gonna be very connected to you and what you want out of your journey and what you want out of life. So I definitely feel like the universe is gonna give you this person. So you have to learn to let go of what you had. With that said too, I think you will get to the point this person will be in a good mental place to be like, okay, you know what? I'm over it. I want to see what's going to happen, because then you have the Two of Wands that shows that you will be in a balanced space. You will be ready to look at the future. You'll definitely start even thinking about like, maybe what can I do today and put myself out there and like meet the right person, or like if you're doing any kind of manifestations that you want to do, what do I have to do? But because that star card came out, it definitely shows that you will meet somebody else that's more connected to you. And I think with this one coming out, it shows that you'll actually be more excited. Maybe if you don't feel that right now, but when you meet this person, you'll be excited about the future. And it might be something that this other person was holding you back from. Like it was kind of hard to see the big picture, but with this person, it feels really easy to let that happen.
And that gave a lot of clarity.
Yeah, it gave a lot of, I mean,
I think
positive it did.
Like, I think it was specific too, because, you know, I could have just told you to just be by yourself or work on yourself.
No,
but this is a good one.
That was like, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, like, this is how you're going to feel.
Okay, so then we have, let me see. So then we have one that says, will I be successful in this coming year? So I'm just going to assume like in the next year, like an actual 12-month period, like the next coming year, like, you know, We're going to pretend the first half of 2020 didn't happen.
Erase it.
It is gone.
So we'll see. Will I be successful in the coming years? And sometimes I repeat it just so I can kind of like vibrate that energy. So with this person, I do see that you would be successful in the coming year. You have, and it starts off by like, you have the Queen of Clubs, and whenever this comes out, I might say this person's a female just because, or they have very strong feminine energy. But with this comes out, it's like a strong, independent, I don't give a fuck kind of person. They're going to do whatever they have to take to do whatever they have to do. They're very career oriented, or they're very excited about their passions and their goals. So they do have a firm stick on like life and what they want and what they want to manifest. So that's really important to them. So with that said, you're definitely in general in life will probably be very successful because you persevere, like you'll do whatever it takes to get what you want. With that said though, you do have certain moments, maybe that's why you're asking this, you have certain moments where you doubt yourself. You have the 5 of coins. So with the 5 of coins, it could be that sometimes you lose faith in the situation, maybe because you don't see things manifesting as quickly as you want them to. But that's like how we were saying earlier, in the questions, you know, you have to really believe or like fake it till you make it, or like do things to hype yourself up, because then you'll be kind of like in this zone. Like they look kind of like depressed and a little bit sad, but it's like they don't really believe something's gonna happen. Like you might get frustrated and really think like this is never gonna happen. You kind of have to try to get yourself out of that mindset. And this is like the one thing that holds you back from manifesting those things, because then you have the Ace of Clubs, which shows that you definitely will get an opportunity that's going to help you like succeed or put that stepping stone in, or like get into that like industry you want to get into. Like it's going to come to you because we see the hand coming out of the sky. Whenever we see that, it's almost like the universe is giving this to you. Like the universe sees what you're doing, like your rituals, your manifestations. If you're screaming it out, you know, like whatever it is that you're doing, you're howling to the moon, it sees it, it knows it. It knows exactly what you want because you are asking, right? So it's going to give it to you. And it's always something that you're going to be, when it comes to the wands, it's something that you're passionate about. So it's definitely going to be something creative, not just like you'll get a regular job and work and it makes good money. It definitely will be a job that's like what you're into, what you want to start, what you want to do, and what you want to make money from.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So,
yeah.
To our follower that submitted that question.
Yes.
Which you know her, I know her. Pay attention and listen. I see you flourishing every day through your posts. Continue.
We see you.
Keep it up. We're proud of you. Keep it going, girl. Stop doubting yourself. You got this. Wise words.
Definitely. Okay, let me see. So we also have need to know if I found my soulmate or should I keep
Please.
I mean looking, LOL. So I guess you want to know if you found the right person, or should you
El chiqui.
yeah, just keep going to,
or should you just be friends?
Yeah, like
yeah, or maybe should you be friends with this person? Let's see. To know if I found my soulmate. Right? I mean, there's a good amount of love questions. I mean, I don't know, COVID kind of put something in everybody.
Yeah.
Even like my regular clients, almost everyone does love reading, so they want to know something about love. So it's
yeah, for sure. I think people always lean to those questions because love is like love and relationships is such an uncertain thing, because when it comes to careers and your success, it's something you have more control over because it depends on like what you do. And when it comes to love, it's like, you know, it's that uncertainty of like the other person and their feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's a good point. At least like with your career, you could be selfish.
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked basically like a yes or no if you found the one, or should you just keep hoeing, just keep messing around. So the cards definitely actually say that you should just keep hoeing around and just do what you want to do.
Oh, I don't think this is this person.
I don't think that's the answer she wanted, but it's the answer you need, girl. It's the answer
she needs this clarity.
Yeah, for sure. Because actually, the center card that comes out is the Seven of Cups. It actually shows that you definitely have like a lot of different opportunities or different routes to go. Like you could see it that maybe you can have this one person or not, or do what you want. So it's more like asking yourself, do you want to have a relationship, or do you or why are you asking yourself you want a relationship? Because I also think if this comes out, you actually do like having multiple people, and that's okay. You don't have to. Everyone's different. You can have what it is that you like. So I do think if this comes out too, it's more like this isn't you asked. It's you asked it. Like, is this my soulmate? No, this probably person isn't your soulmate. Maybe they're nice. Maybe you like them. You guys do have some kind of chemistry, but it doesn't mean that they're like the one, you know? So it definitely does show that you should keep looking. You should be open-minded, like explore the ideas, because then at some point you will meet somebody that you are like connected to, that you want to be with. You have the Page of Swords, which shows someone that is like, they might be like, they have like a young mindset. They definitely want to like explore different ideas or the world, or be, you know, on a different journey. They might be very unique. And I think that's also maybe what you're looking for. So again, I think you need to ask yourself, why do I want a boyfriend? You know, like, or why do I think this person's my soulmate? You know, maybe they're not, because maybe they don't have those little things that you're missing out on. And then with the Nine of Clubs, it does show like, you know, I also get a sense that maybe you have some, like, this isn't like you to even ask this question. Like something might have happened that made you feel like, oh, this might be my soulmate, because you're just kind of creating this weird wall around yourself. You build up this wall to like protect you. Maybe, I don't know. I know some people during COVID, they're scared they're going to be alone. You should not pick somebody because you're scared to be alone, or like, you know, everybody has a boyfriend and you don't. That's okay. You don't have to, you know, you just have to like, you know, you really have to ask yourself, why did I think this person was my soulmate?
I love this.
Makes so much sense.
I absolutely love this. This is great. This is phenomenal.
Can I actually request, because this is from like one of my close friends, the one that says, is he the one?
Is he the one?
Do you know how long they dated for?
It's been like a year and a half. Almost 2 years.
Oh, okay.
But not exactly, like a year and a half.
Yeah. Okay. So I would definitely say that it is the right move to be with this person, and she did like the right thing, or like for them to be together. But it also kind of looks like it gives them, like the universe keeps trying to give them a chance, or like trying to like see like if they figure it out to make it work, because it does seem like maybe there's some kind of like struggle, or like some kind of like there's like a back and forth. For example, right here you have the One of Swords, and then she also has the One of Coins. So those are like the opportunities, you know, like it's almost like the one opportunity is like, are you willing to fight for it? Like, what do you want to do for it? Or like, have you also like looked deep down inside yourself and like, you know, controlled your own emotional upheaval? But then with like the One of Coins, it's like, have that person also learned how to value the relationship, what they want out of it? Are they looking at those key points? So I think right now for them to be together, it's like they have to have the experience to learn these lessons and to see if they really realize this. And like if this is kind of like where it should go. I would say for the female perspective, she has the Queen of Cups, which shows that like she values what she has, like she cares for it. She might care a lot. But she's also kind of like emotionally, you know, trying to be, you know, in a better place and try to like really grow from it. So I'm saying I can see how she's kind of mature about it. I don't know so much about the other person. But it does say too, interesting, she has the Seven of Swords. So if If she feels like there's anything she has to do to keep kind of in secret before anything else happens, or if she kind of snoops around to try to like find out exactly what she needs to know, then that's okay. That's actually going to help her out to really realize if potentially if this is the one or not, you know. I think right now in the moment it'd be ideal to stay together, but for it to work out for the long run, it's like the opportunities there, like the universe is trying to give it to you, but it's up to you to like learn from it, to experience your emotions. Like, is this really what you want? But also from them as well, are they actually willing to fight for it, and like, are they willing to do their work?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that was insightful.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys have enjoyed this as much as we have. This has been so eye-opening on so many levels, with so many different life situations, that if you guys have any doubt in the tarot, do not.
I hope you guys got as much clarity as we did.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, or if we didn't read your question, or if you didn't submit it, you need to follow the Tarot Queen. Let us know how people can get a reading, your services, how they can reach out to you.
So I have 2 services, either 30 minutes or an hour, because maybe you just have like one question or like 2, you just want to know the specifics, so that's fine. That's like a 30-minute range. But if you have like multiple questions and you love doing tarot, you want to know a lot of things, because there are people who love it and have multiple things they want to ask, then I would suggest the hour. You could definitely book on my website, labruja305.com. You could also, if you have questions that you just want to ask me directly, you could go on my Instagram, which is a Tarot Queen, which you could also find as like the Bruja 305. You could shoot me a message, follow me. You could also subscribe to my newsletter. I actually send out monthly tarot scopes. So tarot scope is like a tarot reading for the zodiac sign. I look at the stars and the tarot to try to give you like a unique prediction. And I do those for free once a month. And then on my tarot account, every Thursday, I do like a pick a card game. I set up like a deck. You guys pick, and then on my story, I'll do the reveal, and you find out what they tell you. A lot of people love playing that game. They feel like they really connect to those cards too. So I definitely invite you to come to my Instagram and see it. And yeah, and I'll have also like a shop opening up where you could get like merch. Like if you feel you're like a bruja, you have like a little bruja gear. I call it my COVID collection. I have a mask.
Love it. I love it.
I have like little I have flip-flops. I have a shirt. Like I have a coffee mug too. So I think it's really cute to be like at home and cozy and still kind of, you know, have your own little thing going on. And then too, if you didn't get, like, if I didn't answer your question, but you saw, you love what I did for the girls and the readings, I'll definitely give your Chismosa a discount. You know, you could, I'll have the code ready when you go to check out, or even if you just shoot me a message, you could right now, Medianoche Miami, and I'll go through my website, or if you shoot me a message, it'll totally count too.
Awesome. So make sure you let her know that if you did find her through us, shoot her a message, let her know.
We will link everything down below in the show notes. We'll make sure to connect you with La Bruja de 305.
We actually love this so much that collectively we decided to do a giveaway for you guys.
A giveaway for our listeners,
we're super excited,
our viewers. So we've partnered up with Ulterior Elements, which is a local Miami brand. And they sell a lot of like very spiritual things and things that we really resonate with. And we let the Tarot Queen choose one item that really resonated with her, so that she could kind of like give her take on it and let you guys know how to use it. So
the good thing about the Alter Element shop is that she has like cute like bottle spells, and I really like that because I think it's very simple. Like if someone earlier was asking like what can they do for like, you know, putting their intentions out, she definitely has like a selection of like if you want protection, love, good luck, money. So you'll choose what you're looking for, and then you get a little bottle spell. So basically it's like a little kit, and it comes with everything you need. So it comes with like even this beautiful instructions. It comes out with this really pretty paper. It's so beautiful. And then it has all the little ingredients for it. So basically you just fill it up, and then you close it off with a candle to kind of seal it in. So I chose the protection one. So that's why it looks black. Like, black is kind of like protective energy, and it has like little crystals and sea salt, and you could see it. And with the string, you can either like hang it from your room or you could actually wear it. It's very like versatile. So on my Instagram, I did post a video of how I used it. That way you could also see how simple it is and how easy it was. And like, just in case maybe you get a little flustered with the instructions, you could definitely see how I did mine.
Yeah, so definitely like check out the show notes for all the links to follow Tarot Queen, as well as following us. We'll be posting all the giveaway like instructions and like how to win this product from Altar Element.
Yeah. It was super cute and it was super simple, and I really liked it. I think at the end it just looked so nice.
But thank you so much.
Like, this was so much fun. Like after COVID-19, we should definitely hang out.
Yeah. No, we really should.
I feel like we just gained a new friend.
1,000%. Like just for the camera.
It was like super exciting. That's the thing I love too about like Miami people, as I learned through it, because I just connect with Miami people so well, and like and we're just like our own. It kind of feels nice and comforting. But I just think like Miami people are very creative. They want to make something happen. They're like bold. They're ready to like go out there and do whatever they have to do, and and I think that's really cool.
We live in Miami in this like little like world of just like. It's like all these eclectic, versatile Hispanic communities, and we all connect so well with each other, and we're so unapologetic in us.
And I love it, like when we find somebody that we relate to, we like hold on to that.
We really connect.
And we're like, yes, like I connect to you and I relate to you like so much that like I want to like showcase you.
Yeah.
I want to advertise you. I want you to have as much success as you possibly can. But it's how we felt with you.
So thank you so much for being our first in our series of Miami Creative.
The Miami Creative series. It's been so great to have you, as well as thank you so much to all of our podcast listeners and all of our YouTube listeners for tuning in and like making this happen. It's been such a great journey for the both of us.
We really, really appreciate everyone following and listening and viewing. Don't forget to subscribe for good vibes so you can keep up with your Cubanitas.
Yes, your Cubanitas want you to subscribe, as well as following the Tarot Queen or La Bruja 305. We love you guys so much for tuning into this episode. It's been absolutely amazing.
And thank you again so much.
Thank you for bringing me on. This was a lot of fun. Like, it was really fun. I really loved it. Like, I'm down to do this in person too. Have like our own little girls' night.
Yes.
Thank you
guys for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye. Until next time.